The culture of Pittsburgh stems from the city's long history as a center for cultural philanthropy, as well as its rich ethnic traditions. In the 19th and 20th centuries, wealthy businessmen such as Andrew Carnegie, Henry J. Hines, Henry Clay Frick, and nonprofit organizations such as the Carnegie Foundation donated millions of dollars to create educational and cultural institutions. Architecture. The Frank Lloyd Wright masterpiece Fallingwater is about an hour's drive from downtown Pittsburgh. The North Shore has an 1895 Neogothic church, Calvary Methodist, with an interior designed by Louis Comfort Tiffany. The church's stained glass windows are some of the largest and most elaborate work Tiffany ever created. The Church of the Immaculate Heart of Mary in Pittsburgh, an opulently decorated edifice with elaborate Old World flourishes, is one of the finest examples of the so-called Polish cathedral style, dominating the skyline over Polish Hill. The Allegheny County Courthouse 1886, designed by H. H. Richardson, is a unique and influential building. At 42 stories, the University of Pittsburgh's Cathedral of Learning 1937 is the second tallest collegiate building in the world. The tallest skyscraper in Pittsburgh is the triangular U.S. Steel Tower. Both Heinz Field 2001 and PNC Park 2001 are designed to give fans a view of the city skyline. Conventions. The David L. Lawrence Convention Center, located on the south bank of the Allegheny River, is quickly becoming some of the most sought-after convention space in the country, as it is able to accommodate all sizes of conventions, exhibitions and conferences. Certified with a gold rating by the U.S. Green Building Council's Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design Initiative, the building is considered the first-ever green convention center and world's largest green building. Film. The region has hosted over 1,000 film and television works since the first production filmed in the city in 1898. Since 1990, the Pittsburgh Film Office has marketed the greater southwestern Pennsylvania region as a great location for movie, television and commercial productions. The PFO has assisted more than 102 feature films and television productions to southwestern Pennsylvania to generate an economic impact of more than $575 million for the region. Pittsburgh Filmmakers teaches media arts and runs 3 art house movie theaters, and since 1981 the Three Rivers Film Festival has brought national attention to local talent and artists of the region. Theater. The Pittsburgh Playhouse at Point Park University has 4 resident theater companies. Other theater companies include Bald Theater Company, Barebones Productions, Bricolage Production Company, City Theater, Jewish Theater of Pittsburgh, Quantum Theater, Phase 3 Productions, Prime Stage Theater, Pittsburgh Public Theater, Attack Theater, Unseamed Shakespeare Company, Terra Nova Theater Group, Cup A. Joe Productions, Hiawatha Project, 12 Piers Theater, Organic Theater Pittsburgh, Three Rivers Theater Company, Kernavale Theatrix, Theater Sans Serif, The Summer Company, Throughline Theater Company, No Name Players, Pittsburgh Musical Theater, Caravan Theater of Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Civic Light Opera, Pittsburgh Playwrights Theater Company, Stage Right, and Pittsburgh Irish and Classical Theater. The Pittsburgh New Works Festival utilizes local theater companies to stage productions of original one-act plays by playwrights from all parts of the country. Similarly, Future 10 showcases new 10-minute plays. St. Vincent Summer Theater, Off the Wall Productions, Mountain Playhouse, and Stage Right, in nearby Latrobe, Carnegie, Jennerstown, and Greensburg, respectively, employ Pittsburgh actors and contribute to the culture of the region. August Wilson, one of the best-known playwrights of his generation, was a Pittsburgh native. The majority of his plays are set in the city as well, including the 2 that he won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama for, Fences Play and The Piano Lesson. Friday Night Improvs, an improv show at the University of Pittsburgh's Cathedral of Learning, is Pittsburgh's longest-running theater show. It has produced a number of professional writers and actors. Since 1991, the Gene Kelly Awards have honored students in drama in the region, giving a platform to some who have gone on to both theater and film careers. Cuisine. Traditional Pittsburgh foods reflect the city's multicultural heritage, especially that of the European immigrants of the early 20th century. While these immigrant populations introduced dishes such as pierogies to the city, they are now enjoyed by Pittsburghers in general. Other Pittsburgh food specialties were developed in the city. In general, these dishes are still popular because for many years, they satisfied the hearty appetite of the archetypal Pittsburgher, the hard-working, blue-collar steelworker. Cabbage rolls, aka halupki, beef, pork, rice, green pepper, wrapped in cabbage and baked with sauerkraut and tomato soup or juice. Chipped ham, aka chipped chopped ham, thinly sliced processed ham, from Italy since 1933. City chicken, cubes of pork and/or veal baked or fried on a wooden skewer. Clark Bar, chocolate candy bar, developed in the city in 1917. Essie's Original Hot Dog Shop, an Oakland staple since 1960. Haluski, noodles with fried cabbage, Polish, or cottage cheese, Slovak. Iron City Beer, native brew, with a shot of whiskey, a Boilermaker, with a shot of Imperial, and Imp and Arn. Italian sausage, with grilled peppers and onions. Kielbasa, Eastern European sausages. Pierogi, Polish dish, pasta dough filled with potato and cheese, onion or sauerkraut. Primanti Brothers, sandwich with fries and coleslaw in it. Saris candies, chocolates and ice cream originating in Canonsburg. Teutonia Mannerkert, Deutschtown, East Allegheny, German food. Woolly S. founded in 1912 in Pittsburgh. S. Market Square and now located on Penn Avenue, Holy serves a wide variety of seafood and a famous fish sandwich. The Woolly Company has been the anchor and main attraction of the historic Strip District for over 60 years. Restaurants, nightlife. Pittsburgh is home to several night spots. 2014 Best Restaurants, 2003 News Feature, 2003 News Remembrance Feature, 1998 Feature on Seafood, 1994 News Feature and a Chef's Feature from 1994 News Feature on the New Hofbräu, 1984-85 Dining Guide, Listing of night spots from 1978, Listing of night spots from 1950, May 1950 and July 1950. Listing of night spots from 1949 and another. Listing of night spots from 1937 and August 1937. Hofbräu Feature from 1934 Gardens and parks. In addition to numerous large and small neighborhood parks, Pittsburgh has 5 large city parks covering hundreds of acres. Schenley Park in the Oakland and Squirrel Hill neighborhoods. This park contains Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens. Frick Park in the Squirrel Hill and Regent Square neighborhoods. Highland Park in the neighborhood of the same name. This park contains the Pittsburgh Zoo and PPG Aquarium. Riverview Park on the north side, home to the historic Allegheny Observatory. Grand View Scenic Byway Park circling the Mount Washington and Duquesne Heights neighborhoods. Several other parks and gardens are in Pittsburgh. The National Aviary, Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens, Pittsburgh Zoo and PPG Aquarium. Libraries. The city has an extensive library system, both public and university. Most notable are the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh and the University of Pittsburgh's University Library System. Many local history materials are available online at Historic Pittsburgh, a collection that includes materials from the University of Pittsburgh's University Library System, the library and archives of the Historical Society of Western Pennsylvania at the Senator John Heinz Pittsburgh Regional History Center, and the Carnegie Museum of Art. Pittsburgh History is an online service maintained by the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. Literature. See List of fiction set in Pittsburgh. With the leadership of native Samuel Hazo, the city hosted a poetry forum. Pittsburgh is also renowned for its deep and enduring literary culture. Pittsburgh literary history goes back to the early 20th century, with dozens of prominent authors. The city for a time was considered more closely identified with literature than with steel. Music. The Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra performs in Heinz Hall, which also plays host to other events throughout the year. The Benedum Center and Heinz Hall provide venues for numerous musicals, lectures, speeches, and other performances, including Pittsburgh Opera. Pittsburgh is also home to one of the few professional brass bands in the world, the River City Brass Band. Other musical arts groups include the Pittsburgh Youth Symphony Orchestra (PYSO) and the River City Youth Brass Band. The Mendelssohn Choir of Pittsburgh is an acclaimed semi-professional choir, with performances that are usually free to the public. The Teutonia Manorchor, founded in 1854 and based in East Allegheny, Deutschtown, furthers choral singing in German and folk dancing. The Pittsburgh New Music Ensemble (PNME) is an American ensemble dedicated to the performance of contemporary classical music. And the Renaissance and Baroque Society of Pittsburgh hosts early music concerts of artists from across the country. Jazz Pittsburgh became an important gateway between the north, south, east and west of the U.S., playing a strong role in the development of jazz. Jazz came to the city's African American neighborhoods after 1925. The Hill District became known as Little Harlem from the 1920s until the early 1950s. There were hundreds of jazz venues in the community, which later helped to promote the emergence of bebop. The most famous was probably the Crawford Grill, which nightly attracted top national talent. A number of influential musicians emerged from the city. Mary Lou Williams, Ahmad Jamal, Errol Garner, and Billy Strayhorn, who was Duke Ellington's primary musical collaborator for 28 years, came from the city's East End regions of Homewood and East Liberty. A number of musicians came from communities outside the city, including Maxine Sullivan, Homestead, Sonny Clark, Hermione, and Earl Fatha Hines, Duquesne. Vocalist and bandleader Billy Eckstein was one of the first musicians to be paid a $1 million recording contract. Trumpeter Roy Eldridge, drummer Kenneth Spearman Clark, and influential bassist Ray Brown were born in the city. Singer Lena Horne was raised in Pittsburgh. Bassist Paul Chambers, also born in Pittsburgh, played on two of the most important albums in jazz history, Miles Davis' Kind of Blue 1959 and John Coltrane's Giant Steps 1960. Other noted jazz musicians include Eric Kloss, Dodo Marmarosa, Walt Harper, Tommy and Stanley Turrentine, Horace Parlan, pianist Nathan Davis, guitarist George Benson, and drummers Art Blakey, Roger Humphreys and Jeff Tain Watts. A young Lena Horne also spent her formative years learning jazz and blues in the city's Hill District. Popular music. Pittsburgh's role in popular music began with native Stephen Foster and his enduring classics of the 1800s, so influential was Foster's works that he been called the "father of American music." Has had 5 films made of his life, has heavily influenced such talents as Nellie Bly and Jackie Gleason, and has had 2 of his songs chosen as state anthems, Kentucky and Florida, as well as the annual selections of Churchill Downs. Pittsburgh is perhaps most associated for the plethora of doo-wop artists that were produced during the 1950s and 1960s, thanks in part to local legendary disc jockey Porky Chedwick playing songs that in most other major markets wouldn't risk being played. Several groups such as the Dell Vikings, the Marcells, the Vogues and the Skyliners exemplify the region's doo-wop contributions. During this same era, notable solo acts such as Henry Mancini, Perry Como and Bobby Vinton came out of the region to reach world fame in the industry. A years-long engagement at the city's William Penn Hotel also launched the national career of Lawrence Welk. During the 1970s and 1980s rock era, Pittsburgh had a major role in the success of both Wild Cherry and their most popular song, album Play That Funky Music, inspired by a fan's plea to them during a performance at the North Side's 2001 club in 1976, and being the home to Bret Michaels, known for his fame in the band Poison. Both Joe Grishecki and Donnie Iris achieved one-hit wonder fame and lasting regional rock fame. Several notable bands emerged from Pittsburgh in the 1990s, including Rusted Root, The Clarks, Don Caballero, and the punk rock bands Anti-Flag and Os Rotten. Rusted Root and The Clarks appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman. Formed in 1999, the garage rock group Modi Lemon toured the U.S. and internationally, gaining favorable reviews. Singer Christina Aguilera, a student at North Allegheny Intermediate High School, debuted locally at the 1999 Lilith Fair, before going on to sell over 43 million albums worldwide. In the 2000s, Anti-Flag produced 5 albums, signed to RCA Records and appeared several times on the Vans Warped Tour. Rapper Wiz Khalifa, who signed to Warner Bros. Records but left without releasing an album, topped the iTunes singles chart by the end of the decade. Mashup, laptop music artist Girl Talk Greg Gillis found mainstream success. His 2006 album Night Ripper gained favorable reviews and Feed the Animals 2008 topped year-end album lists in national media. Since 2010, solo acts such as Native's Jackie Evancho, Slimmy Hendrix, Wiz Khalifa, Daya Singer, and Mac Miller have achieved worldwide fame. Josh Groban was trained in Pittsburgh, having attended Carnegie Mellon University. Universally acclaimed hardcore metalcore band Code Orange are also from Pittsburgh. Dance. Pittsburgh Dance Council and the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater host a variety of dance events. Polka, folk, square and round dancing have a long history in the city and are celebrated by the internationally famous Duquesne University Tamburitsons, a multicultural academy dedicated to the preservation and presentation of folk songs and dance. Museums and art. Pittsburgh has several visual arts museums, including the Andy Warhol Museum, dedicated to the works of Pittsburgh native Andy Warhol. The Carnegie Museum of Art is home to works by such luminaries as Edgar Degas, Vincent van Gogh, Claude Monet, Robert Adam and many others, along with galleries of sculpture, modern art, the Heinz Architectural Center, a large film and video collection, and various traveling exhibits. Installation art is featured outdoors at Art Gardens of Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Center for the Arts shows contemporary art and provides resources for Western Pennsylvania artists. The town's history museum is the Heinz History Center with an annual attendance of 130,000. The Carnegie Museum of Natural History, located in Oakland, has extensive dinosaur collections on display, including the most complete Tyrannosaurus rex skeleton ever discovered, and an Egyptian wing. The building may be distinguished by a life-size statue known as Dippy the Diplodocus to the right of the main entrance. Other dinosaur statues are visible around the Pittsburgh area, these decorated by artists nationwide and sold as a benefit to the Carnegie Museums. The Carnegie Science Center, located in the north side near PNC Park and Heinz Field, is more technology-oriented. The Children's Museum of Pittsburgh, located on Pittsburgh's north side, has a variety of interactive exhibits and programs for children and families including a multimedia art studio, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, water area and theater for performances. Recreation. Close by the Phipps Conservatory is the Shenley Park Golf Course, a public golf links. Kennywood Park is widely regarded by roller coaster enthusiasts to have some of the best roller coasters in the world, including several early 20th century wooden coasters, the Racer, the Thunderbolt, and the Jackrabbit. A water park owned by Kennywood, Sandcastle, is another local amusement park. Counterculture. Pittsburgh has recently gained attention as a burgeoning center for counterculture. The annual Penzic War, the Society for Creative Anachronism's largest reenactment of pre-17th century Europe, is hosted nearby. Anthrocon, the world's largest anthropomorphics convention, better known as Furry Convention, returns every summer to the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. The Pittsburgh Cacophony Society is also very active, and in 2008, the Pittsburgh Burning Man community launched a winter regional burn event called Frostburn. See also. References. Toker, Franklin, 1994-1986. Pittsburgh, An Urban Portrait. Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh Press. ISBN 0-8229-5434-6. External links. Tim McNulty, 7 August 2006. Exhibit A, Local Museums Experience Ups and Downs Attracting Crowds. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Pittsburgh Cultural Guide. The Pittsburgh Cultural Trust. Pitpunk. Pittsburgh Music History. Wall Street Journal feature. Teutonia Manorker. Huffington Post feature. Business Journal feature on the Lotus Club.